If you ever thought about relocating to San Diego, in this video I share the pros and cons of living in San Diego in 2023. Not the typical pros and cons like the weather is great and it's expensive. I'm sure you already know that by now. From a person that's born here in San Diego, pretty much lived here all my life, I'm going to discuss the pros and cons that you probably overlooked when thinking about relocating to San Diego. If this is your first time to my channel, my name is Robert Hall. I'm a local realtor here in San Diego. And with this channel, I'll focus on everything there is to see and know about this great city of San Diego. So usually when you ask somebody if they want the good news or the bad news first, they usually say they want the bad news. So in this video, I'm gonna focus on the cons first and then we'll get into the pros of living here in San Diego. Con number one of living in San Diego: people cannot drive. As I'm shooting this video, we've been having a ton of rain lately, and when there's rain, there's a ton of accidents. I assume because we have pretty much perfect weather for the majority of the year, people freak out when it rains. So my advice is to stay off the road as much as possible when you first relocate to San Diego. Con 2 on the list is lack of seasons. I never thought of this as being a con until a lot of my clients and friends from back east, they start telling me how they miss having the variety of the seasons. A lot of people associate weather with holidays. Here in San Diego, the weather is always warm, so that's something I just never thought about. In most places during Thanksgiving, Christmas, it gets cold, it starts to snow. So when you move here for the first time during the holidays, you may be expecting a change in weather. Obviously, you should know there's not going to be a change in weather, but what people realize when they move here that they do miss those extreme cold Christmas and Thanksgiving holidays. And when you're used to that and you go to a Christmas here where it's 72 degrees, sometimes that throws people off a little bit, but I'm sure you'll get used to it. Con number 3, you'll definitely need a vehicle living here in San Diego. There's no way you're going to be able to get around the city from work and play if you don't have a vehicle. Our public transportation sucks. So don't depend on catching a bus, or what we have here is like a train, but we call it a trolley. Don't depend on any of those if you need to get around the city. Now, if it's something just getting to Petco Park to catch a ball game or going to Fashion Valley Mall, then the trolley goes through those areas. You can get there easily. That's what I would prefer for like going to a baseball game. But trying to get back and forth to work, you got to have a car. So when relocating to San Diego, you have to be strategic in planning where you move. If you did want to utilize the public transportation, there are a few spots here in San Diego that you probably could utilize public transportation. If you live downtown, live in the Mission Valley area, and you worked in those areas, you may be able to utilize public transportation, but I wouldn't depend on it. Depending on where you live and work, it's not unheard of to have a 30+ mile drive to work every day here in San Diego. I was doing that for years. It would take me, without traffic, 20 minutes, but with traffic, an hour to hour and a half. So you're definitely most likely going to have 25 to 30 mile radius to and from home and work living here in San Diego because the county is just so big. Con number 4, earthquakes. Now I know that's the elephant in the room. Every time I talk to a client that's from back east, down south, somewhere else outside of California, the number one thing they ask me is about earthquakes. I always hear this question: how bad are the earthquakes in San Diego? Now, being here the majority of my life, they're nothing to me. I've experienced probably 3 that I can remember. There's been more earthquakes, but most earthquakes you can sleep through. Most of the time, I wake up in the morning, turn on the news, and there was an earthquake last night. I didn't even realize it. So most earthquakes you won't feel. The ones that you do feel, they'll last a couple of seconds. Definitely nothing to be scared of, but I know people who hasn't experienced earthquakes are fearful of them. Me personally, I'd rather have an earthquake than a hurricane. So if you can live through a hurricane, if you're fine with hurricanes, you definitely will be okay with the earthquake. Don't let that scare you from relocating to San Diego. Now on to the fun stuff, the pros about living in San Diego in 2023. Pro number 1, there's always something to do here in the city. You'll never run out of fun activities to do here in San Diego, from amusement parks, the zoo, Wild Animal Park, Legoland, Sesame Place. We have a ton of things for you to do, especially with the family here in San Diego. There's great activities to do like kayaking, La Jolla Coves, hiking trails at Torrey Pines. You have Comic-Con, golfing, concerts at Rady Shell, and harbor cruises. There's so much to do here in San Diego. I can go on and on about all the activities you can do in here in San Diego, but I'm sure you get the gist. There's always something to do in this city. Pro number 2, staycations. Now this is something that's new to me and my family. We've been doing this for the last 4 or 5 years. We all know what a vacation is. Well, a staycation is the same thing. The difference is you just vacate in the city that you currently live in. If you live in a vacation destination like San Diego, this is your chance to explore the city and get the most out of it when you live here. Most of us don't take advantage of everything the city has to offer, and staycations are the perfect way to do just that. San Diego has a ton of great resorts and hotels that me and my family love to stay at. The Town and Country in Mission Valley is one of our favorites. They have a big water slide. My daughter, I have a 4-year-old daughter, well, she'll be 5 in a couple of months, but she loves the water slides at the Town and Country. So that's definitely a resort you may want to try out, even if you're just visiting San Diego. But if you're relocating here and you want to try your first vacation, think of that hotel. The last pro I'll discuss in this video, number 3, is the food. San Diego is a very diverse city, so we get to try many foods from different cultures and get to experience some of the best foods that you probably ever tried. You can find some good Filipino food, good Hawaiian food, good Chinese food, even Jamaican. But where we really shine is Mexican food. We got some of the best Mexican food in the nation, and I don't think it's debatable. So when you relocate to San Diego, Mexican food is the first food you must try. Guarantee you'll love it. So those were a few pros and cons of relocating here to San Diego in 2023. If you ever have any interest in moving or relocating to this city, please reach out to me. My phone number and way to contact me will be down in the description. And I also have a link to give you a free download to my San Diego's Buyer's Guide. That will guide you on relocating to San Diego and give you any information that you probably didn't think about before moving here. So thanks for watching my video. Please comment, subscribe. If you like what you see, this video is totally dedicated to anybody looking to move to San Diego, or if you're already in San Diego looking to move to a different neighborhood. I discuss all the neighborhoods, places to eat, things to do with the family. This is the channel you need to subscribe to. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.